Welcome to elenasbarre low impact full body workouts. On this channel you find different format workouts that will help you to tone up your muscles, improve your posture, gain overall strength, endurance, balance and flexibility. Check more classes on elenasbarre Patreon. Join us for my crazy piano practice on Sundays. We also talk about controversial topics that can trigger you. You participate in our conversations voluntarily at your own risk. Read the disclaimer in the description box. If you don't want to be mentally or physically challenged, I suggest that you skip this video. Thank you so much for your understanding. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to elenasbarre low impact full body workouts. Today we have Sam, we have Emma. Thank you guys for joining us. And we have Glenn Lawrence. Yes. Glenn, are you going to show your face?
Yes. Yes, I will.
Oh, good. Because people need to see the upcoming president of the manosphere.
Oh, yes. I shall. Give me a few moments. I'm doing something right now.
Okay, while you are getting ready, we are going to talk about the Simps today. And I thought that it would be interesting that Emma maybe could share with us a few stories of maybe the relationships she had, or maybe the friends that she notices have a relationship, and then a guy is a simp. And I was just wondering if you guys can see what happens in other people's relationships and intersexual dynamics.
I do know people.
Get right into it, Emma. There you go.
Yeah, we're getting straight into it.
I'm not talking about people on here that I know, if you know what I mean. So I am just in case.
Yeah. So you can think of a few couples.
I do see it in other relationships where women are walking all over their men. I'm gonna be generalistic on this.
Yeah. That's okay. Don't give us the names, the details, like where they live and stuff.
But I see the way they talk to their men, don't do things that they should do, that and just generally disrespect them. And the guys just sit there and do it. And after a while they might go, I'm not liking this, but then it's too late, isn't it? Because they've tolerated the behavior for so long.
Yeah. It almost like they gave up their authority even before they entered into this committed relationship, or the moment that they entered into this commitment, they're like, okay, I got what I wanted. I got this pretty woman, right, that can walk over me. And now they're just spineless, clueless, subservient imbeciles. This is how I call them usually. Okay, let's welcome here Accounting Ship. Hi, Accounting Ship. Good to see you. Yes. And here is Sam. Guys, go follow Sam. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Bungalow for Bachelors. Nice. Yeah, I see it everywhere also. And the more I understand what we are doing here, the more I realize that, oh my gosh, there are so many simps out there. And it's just really frustrating.
Balances, doesn't it?
Yeah, Accounting Ship is using my abbreviated comments. Have you seen this one? Yeah. Well, Sam, I was wondering, what do you think about Simps? I know that last time you've mentioned that to some extent all men have been there. Those men who are now in the red pill, they all have been sort of drawn into the reality, right? Kicked into their teeth, and some men can come out of this kind of mentality of a slave, and some men cannot. It was an interesting point. Do you remember what you told us last time?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that all men have been simps. I wouldn't necessarily blanket say that, but I would say that a majority of men that grow up, Rollo says that everyone after the 70s or whenever that time period is a feminist on some level, right? So we've all been sort of learning these lessons as we grow up, and we can't control the lessons we're learning when we're that young. So we
True.
just learned them. And so the unlearning part is a process that I would argue most men probably have to go through at some point, and hopefully do go through, to kind of like reset their frame and get an idea for what it is that's important to them in life and how to work with that. So that most men start from the wrong side and don't really understand what's going on, and they don't have the full picture. And it takes a certain number of very impactful events in someone's life to shake them enough to realize, well, okay, maybe the book that I'm reading the rules from is the wrong book, and there's something else going on here. So
Yeah.
that was the general point, is that, you know, there's probably a lot of guys out there that, frankly, society like teaches them that they're doing the right thing, and they're going to feel like they're doing the right thing, and that's going to work for them up to a certain point.
Yeah.
They could invest 30, 40 years into something before they really figure it out. And that's unfortunate, but you know.
I mean, you in this way you cannot really blame them for being that way, right? It's
Correct.
not entirely their fault. And the problem is that women are blaming men, right? No matter what happens, oh, it's man's fault. It's always a man's fault, right? So men do the right thing based on what society tells them to do, based on the books, based on the TV, based on what they hear and see everybody else is doing, right? So socially, they are doing the right thing, but it's still wrong. Right? A feminist would say, oh, I have no problem. I'm a perfect woman out here. And I actually prepared a few videos for us to watch with the women, that they always say that, oh, men are not men enough. Men are supposed to do this. Men are supposed to be that. They're supposed to be better. And I'm like, define better, because you are not a great feminine woman necessarily either, because both men and women have been brainwashed. And we've talked about women last time. This is why women are single today for the most part, because they just don't want to improve. They don't feel like they have the need to improve. Oh, we have Michael. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. Yeah, Glenn, tell us what you think about the Simps, if you are still there.
The Simps?
Yes.
Well, let's face it. Simps are guys that don't have what it takes to attract the woman on their own, just by their presence, and so they have to compensate. They'll lead with their wallet. These guys are the most dangerous type of guys, honestly. Simps are very dangerous guys. All right. They're the most dangerous type of guys because these are the guys that play the nice guy. Oh, I'm going to do this for you. Everything I do it for you. And then when she doesn't reciprocate that, these are the type of guys that are going to go postal. All right. These are the type of guys that lose it. And then, you know, next thing you know, the chick at the counter at the store ends up getting in trouble because some other chick, you know, was rude to him, and he couldn't take it anymore. These guys live off this ridiculous expectations of women, and they don't accept the reality. And so what they end up doing is when they get to a point where they can't deal with rejection anymore, they're the guys that lash out. They're the guys that refuse to, you know, really see things the way they're supposed to be. I am very wary of any guy that's a simp, because these are the type of guys that will really hurt women. These guys hurt women more than those alphas that just bang chicks at the club. Because the girls that know that the guy that bangs chicks at the club, that's all he's there for. There's nothing misleading them. The girls know that this guy's not going to settle down. And so, but this nice guy over here, oh, he's so nice. He looks safe. That's the predator right there.
Yeah, it's so deceiving, and a lot of women, they associate the nice guy. They actually think that the good guy is the nice and safe guy. This is why they fall for these simps. And they even can be muscular, like they can be ripped, they can be bulkier, they can have muscles, right? And women would assume that, oh, okay, because he's physically strong and he can defend me whenever it's necessary, right? She disregards his mindset. She doesn't evaluate him based on objective criteria for a woman. So what I'm trying to bring up to you guys, there is objective criteria of evaluation of a man, as there is objective criteria of evaluation of a woman. So what women today do, they are judging men based on their looks, just based on how a man looks. It's kind of how men are supposed to evaluate women, right? Not just that, if we include the rational criteria in there. So you don't lead with your pee-pee, right? Like Glenn loves to say. Yeah.
Yeah, she has to do more than just touch your dick. Just do way more than touch your pee-pee. Guys, we have to have higher standards for these women. All right? Touching your pee-pee does not mean wifey.
Yeah, but the rational criteria applies to women. So when women are looking at men, women can't just say that, oh, just because he looks so muscly and bulky and so fuckable, let's say, I should go with him. Right? So she needs to think rationally and say that, okay, can he provide guidance, right? Does he know the Bible? Does he know how to be a man, right? Not just, oh, does he have the muscles to punch somebody? I mean, that's important, don't get me wrong. Being healthy reasonably, it matters. But it's not the only criteria that women should be evaluating men. And I think that feminists are trying to, because we are reversing sort of the genders and behaviors, they are trying to apply the masculine evaluation of men on themselves. Like, so if I'm a woman and I'm a feminist, I would look at a man and only consider his looks, and that would be enough for me. This is why you see a lot of women are saying, oh, he's so cute, he is so like, and then they don't go beyond that level, okay? Because they have their own money, they have their independence, they're strong, powerful, they can do the things by themselves, and they've been told by society that you can't rely on men, you can't trust men in taking decisions, right? So she's the boss, she decides what she should do, and the man is just like a factoid for her, right? So she only considers the man who looks pretty enough. I think this is also wrong. Glenn, what do you think?
Were you talking to me? I'm sorry.
I was asking you, what do you think? Women should have rational, objective criteria for evaluating men too?
Well, I mean, let's face it. Like, for the most part, I think what it comes down to is that if you want anything to be even, guys need to start looking at objectifying women like women objectify guys. Like that's the playing field, right? I mean, women are going after these chads and they have these ridiculous standards for men, and they're told that's okay. Okay, well then if that's appropriate, then all right, guys, let's up your standards. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with upping your standards? But the problem with the way it comes down to it is like nobody's being realistic here. Women are not being realistic. You want a guy that's super jacked, super chad stuff, but then you want him to be so attractive. You want him to be super attractive, but not bang anybody else. So he has to be super attractive, but not too attractive that other girls like him. But you do want other girls to like him because, girls do require social proof, and they love it when other girls tell them that their man's hot. So they like that, but they don't like that when he's too good looking and he knows that he ends up banging somebody. So you don't want him to cheat on you, but you want him hot enough to where he can cheat. You want him to provide for you. You want him to defend you. You don't like, there's so many things that you want, but then you never ask yourself, what does a guy want from me? And see, that's where guys are. Guys are always like, okay, we need to provide for them. So let me go ahead and make sure I can make a lot of money and flex on that, like step out with my money so they know that I got money. And guys trying to, oh, you want me to cater to you? Okay, I'll cater to you. Guys do these things for women's desire, but women don't do it for men's desire. So, fellas, stop giving away free stuff. Stop doing all these niceties for these chicks that are not showing you any investment. Like the value that you bring to the table, because we all know when everybody has this conversation about the table, men bring all this value to the table. And the question is, ladies, what do you bring to the table? So since you already know what you bring to the table, fellas, then stop giving it away so freely. So you're basically saying the stuff that you bring to the table has no value because you're giving it away to every girl that looked at you.
Yeah. Sam, what do you think?
I totally agree. Like kind of like I talked about last week, guys aren't vetting girls. Guys are not filtering for any of these positive characteristics. They're just taking what they can get from the, lack of abundance that they have. And that's causing this issue and the lack of like Glenn was saying, raising the standards for girls as well. So from the men's perspective. So, I mean, I know personally that it's much more difficult to like figure out how to get yourself in that frame of mind. Like when you're actually coming from a place of like a lack of abundance or a scarcity mentality, right? It's very difficult to like actually just say, oh, well, I'm just going to have an abundance mentality. Like, yeah, that works a little bit, but you've got to make real changes in your life. And, you've got to like take action, and do things to change your circumstances so that you can really change your mindset long-term towards actually having an abundance. And like, for me, I would notice the biggest thing is that like your time, right? Your time is extremely valuable, especially when you're a guy and you've got a whole bunch of things going on. You don't have time for like, no offense to women that are unattractive, but unattractive women hitting you up and like, let's go get coffee or something. It's like, that's going to take at least like 2 hours of my day. I'm going to buy coffee. I'm going to buy you coffee because I'm a guy. And it's like, what am I getting out of this? And you're not even like at my standard. So you got to get to a certain level and stop, just like giving away your time, right? Because it's valueless if you're doing that.
Yeah. Accounting Ship is saying here, the problem is that once you start vetting them, you realize there are too few decent ones left to be worth the effort.
Well, it's true. I mean, just read Aaron Clary's books. What is it? The Menu, and what's the other good one? I mean, they're all good.
Book of Numbers.
Book of Numbers, yeah. Just read those two. I mean, just that alone, the Book of Numbers alone will make you like, okay, investing in a sex robot it is. And it's sad that it has to be that way, or guys get to that thought process. But my thing is like, look, guys do not care, and this is where guys need to like level up, because like I have this disease. Want me to tell you the disease I have? I have shallow Hal syndrome. So it's like, if you are not attractive, I could not rise to the occasion even at like threat of death. Okay, it just won't come up. It won't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't do that. It doesn't work that way. You have to be hot, or it's not gonna happen. And for some reason, normal guys don't have that threshold. No. You know how many times I hear guys tell me about these like dumpster rhinos or these horrible looking girls, just like big old whales that they end up pulling in from the club or wherever. And like, I'm like, oh my God, why would you do that to yourselves? So guys have no threshold. Women, on the other hand, women have the same disease that I have. If you're not attractive to her, I don't care how much of a nice guy you are. You could buy her a Bentley, a Ferrari, and a mansion all at once. If she doesn't find you attractive, she is not opening those legs at all. At all. But guys, on the other hand, they have no standards. So guys need to have standards. And one of those standards are hotness is just step one. Okay? Because a girl could be hot, but if she starts talking and I don't find that attractive, what she comes out of her mouth, I don't want to bang her no more. I would not want, no. Guys need to learn to reject girls. I have rejected women just be off the base of their attitude and their tone and the way they're talking. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. I'm good. Go on. Move on. Just
Even if they are beautiful.
beautiful women. I've told them no over this. And it's because I'm saying I'd rather have peace in my life than strife. So at the end of the day, like my peace is more valuable to me than your pussy. Case in point, but guys don't want to do that. They're too, as Sam was saying earlier, they have that scarcity mindset. They don't like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to see one again. I got to just take this opportunity. Well, thank you for just letting her know that all she has to do is flash you a little bit of cooch and you're all under her feet, worshiping her toes. And it's just like, most of the time is guys degrading themselves for 7 minutes in heaven. The average guy only lasts from anywhere between 2 to 7 minutes. So these guys are selling the whole world, giving up everything for what? A measly 2 to 7 minutes?
Glenn, is your particular approach, when you meet women like that they'll be beautiful, and then they start opening their mouth, and you're like, oh, suddenly they're not beautiful anymore, and this is not worth spending my time. Do those women go in like a different category? Do you have a group of like friends, female friends? Do you dabble in that?
So like I think all women fall under 2 categories. All right. There's the playthings and then there's the main things. Right? The playthings are recreational use only. And they pretty much vet themselves out, whether either by attitude or by, lifestyle or by, just whatever, right? And then there's the main things. These are now the girls that are worth, pursuing, that are worth, they bring something to the table that you desire, that you could see yourself potentially with in the future, right? You could foresee a future with them. So there's only 2 chicks, or 2 types of chicks. So as soon as she shows me that she doesn't have the qualities for the main thing, I just automatically put her in the playthings. And playthings could be friends. Those are just people you're just never going to commit to seriously.
So in your group of playthings, is that where the whales are?
Oh, no. Yeah, actually they are there, but see, I said they're friends though. You don't have to play with them that way.
Yeah,
you can play with them all kinds of ways.
Is there not 3 really?
I should have 3 categories. I should have 3.
We used to have a show over here called Snog, Marry, Avoid. So they used to literally take someone off the street and transform them, but used to ask the people, like public before, which category, and then see if by the end whether they would have changed categories. But yeah, 3 categories.
The standard for guys is this, and this is how you know. And it's funny. I was watching a clip from Cardi B today. She was in an interview with Vlad TV, and she's like, you know what? I can't stand guys anymore because like I don't even know if they like me for me or just like me for my clout, and like, what do you mean? She's like, I will be a complete asshole to these guys and they still stay around. And then she's like, I asked them, like, would you take this type of behavior from anybody else? They're like, no. So like, then now the girl knows that you're only putting up with this because of either she's hot or there's something that you could gain from her, right? It's like, you're allowed, if you wouldn't allow anybody to disrespect you like this way, then why the hell would you allow someone attractive to disrespect you this way? If the disrespect is the problem, if that's something you don't like, then I don't care if you are hot, I don't care if you're a millionaire, I don't care if you're offering me the world, I'm still going to be mad at you and I'm still going to have beef with you and I'm going to tell you no. But guys will sell their soul just for a little bit of playtime. And it's like, how can you expect the girl to value you or respect you when you don't even do it your damn self? Well, she cheated on me. She should love me. For what? You don't even love yourself, bro. You let her do all this stuff to you. And you mad that she did it? Crazy.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to the comment that Sheep left for us. Some guys don't even vet them to make sure they are an actual woman.
It's funny you mentioned that. I just made a video making fun of somebody about this. So you guys heard of John Anthony Lifestyle? He's like a dating coach. Do you know this guy has banged 2 trannies?
Oh.
At least.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, this guy has to be the worst dating coach in the world. You know, he got bored of vagina so quickly that he said, you know what? I don't know. You know, banging chicks, so boring. I want to like change it up. What can I do? I want to bang dudes' butts. Yeah. I want dudes' butts with tits. Like, really? Guys, someone help? That's when you know you need an intervention.
Did he do it?
Guys
Did he
don't
do
even
it?
do it.
Did he do it intentionally or by accident?
I don't know how you could do that by accident. I really don't. There are not that very many tall women like that. I mean, you got a girl that's the size of me walking around with long hair. I'm sorry. I don't care. If I see a woman my height, my size, I'm automatically your dude.
Yeah. This is just so crazy. Yeah, guys, you can ask Glenn about relationships. He's here. Let's use his knowledge while he's here with us.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, fire away.
Yeah, if it's about religion, if it's about the Bible, because we talked about church and the Bible last time a little bit. Sam, do you have any questions?
I'm running through what they might be in my head, but I don't have an answer for you right now.
Okay.
And you're Catholic, aren't you, Sam?
I am baptized Catholic, yes, and I will actively
Are
go
you
to
practice Catholic, or do you go to a Christian church?
No, I do not go to a non-denominational church or anything like that. But you know, I attend mass, but I'm still kind of sorting out the
how you guys like
thing.
how you dealing with the whole like tranny thing going on over there with you guys and the Pope? Man,
I honestly couldn't engage in much discussion. You probably know more about it than me, simply because I go to be a figure as a role model, not necessarily because it's
Well, your lead role model is blessing trannies now.
That's you got to keep up with the times. So
I don't know. I couldn't do that. Like
they're going to rewrite the Bible soon to fit modern times.
Well, the sad thing is they're already doing that. You know, they came out with this Bible called the Woman's Bible.
No,
and the Woman's Bible has taken out anything masculine in it.
Wow.
Like, so anything from gender roles, oh, that's gone. Anything that points out like women do bad things, like Proverbs 7. Oh, yeah, that's not really there. They reword it to make it sound not as bad.
Did they remove the God part? Because he's pretty masculine.
Oh, yeah, no, God's a female. You didn't know that? Yeah.
Oh.
In that Bible,
God's
a female.
Their boyfriend if he's a woman.
Huh?
How can he be their boyfriend if he's? No, that's Jesus.
Because they're all really lesbians.
I got people.
I'm liking it more.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're really lesbians. You didn't know that? You're a lesbian. You didn't even know.
Oh,
really not.
Well, I'm glad someone told me.
Yeah, no, it's sad what they're doing, and like the sad thing is, it's like what makes it worse is that pastors are either so out of touch that they don't know what's going on in the real world, and they're preaching using 1900s or 1800s, stats and methodology on how to pursue a relationship, and they're giving you guys old data and telling you guys to use this old data, not even the Bible, okay, but use this old stuff in a modern time, and then you wonder why guys are getting burned out. Like the church is not for men anymore. The church hasn't been for men for a long time. No wonder why guys don't go to the church. I mean, like it's horrible.
Or there is only the e-book format for the Bible, so they can go back and rewrite it.
Well, it's funny because so the feminist hermeneutics, the way the feminists have created their own hermeneutics too, right? And Nick, I saw him in here.
Yeah,
Nick's in here.
He was
in here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He's writing a book, and it's about feminism in the church, right? And I was doing some research on my own after reading his sample of his book, like damn near 300 pages is his sample. And I found out like these feminists have created their own hermeneutics. And you know what? Does anybody know what hermeneutics is, or do I need to explain it?
Explain it. I know it, but the guys might not know.
So hermeneutics is basically a system on how you are able to interpret old texts. So let's say, oh, I see Nick in there. Happy late birthday again. You know his birthday was yesterday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Nick.
So it's like, let's say you are reading a book in the Bible, right? So like Paul, right? Paul wrote a lot of books in the Bible. Those are letters, right? He's writing these letters to these churches and stuff, right? So we know that Paul's the author, and who's the recipient? Like the Church of Corinthians, right? So they're the Corinth. They're the church that's receiving it. Now, and to properly understand how to read this letter, you first have to know who's the author, all right, and B, who's the recipient, who's the reader. And then you have to understand like the context of what's going on. So that way you could read something and know exactly what it meant to them. So you have to understand how whatever's being written is being interpreted from the author's perspective and how the recipient is going to receive it. And then we observe these things like, okay, this is what this means. And then we pull out the information like, this is what this means. And this is how we apply this part of our lives. So simple thing is like, if I wrote a letter to you saying that Christmas was coming, all right, Elena, and you drop the letter, Sam picks up the letter. He doesn't know anything about Christmas. And he reads the letter and he says, Christmas is coming. And Sam gets worried about Christmas. He's scared of Christmas because he doesn't know what Christmas is. So in his own mind, he decides he's going to interpret that Christmas is a bad thing. And he's freaking out. But you're excited. You're joyful. You're happy for Christmas. But since he doesn't know the context of this letter and he just sees Christmas and he doesn't know what Christmas is, he's wrong. He's going to have a bad interpretation. Now, if he understood that I was Santa Claus that was writing you the letter and Santa Claus brings, gifts and told him that Christmas was coming, he might have a different understanding of it. So when we practice hermeneutics, it's practicing how to interpret what the text is saying. So, I forgot where I was going with that, but, so when we don't understand,
sorry, I lived it for years, but I didn't realize it had a name.
Yeah,
it was just life.
Yeah, it's what's sad is like, so the feminist hermeneutics, it's like one, it says scrutinize or criticize all texts in the Bible that's like basically supports masculinity or patriarchy, right? The second rule of it is like, it's like, remember and acknowledge all the times, like basically that they highlight a female in the Bible in a good way and discredit all the time that they highlight a female in a negative way. The other one is like, this is the best one. It's like, it's like actualization, like when you're like reactualization, or when you're trying to recreate something, you like actualize it in your head and then manifest it. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like, it's almost like laws of attraction. It's like, oh, we're going to reinvent this Bible. So we're going to say it's women need to be worshiped. Right, ladies? Yeah, we all should be worshiped. Like, it's like they just really just butcher it. They don't ever practice any. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Make shit up. These women just make shit up, and that's their Bible.
Yeah.
Well, you go, Queen.
Seriously.
I have a question for you, and for Nick probably, if you are here, Nick. What does the Bible say about simps?
Well, I mean, so are we defining simps as like soft guys? Because the Bible says like effeminate men do not inherit the kingdom of God. So if they're weak and soft and that gay, they ain't going to heaven. They go to somewhere else a little hotter. That's exactly what I said, Nick. Effeminacy, and effeminate men don't inherit the kingdom of God.
Yeah. So how are women and society supposed to treat them? Does the Bible say?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, what the Bible says, you should be nice to love thy neighbor, right?
Yeah.
You should be nice to everybody. or treat everybody. You don't have to be nice. I mean, you need to be kind to everybody. There you go. Here's the thing though. Today's simpy, the reason why men are simps today is because that's what women created. This is what we have is what you guys wanted. So the consequences of your actions of, pussifying men is what you get now. And you wonder where all the real men at. Well, you killed them off. We are a dying breed, right? We're a rarity, all right? Because the last couple generations, you guys have created a bunch of little defected girls with penises. I mean, think about it. I mean, these simps were the first, the transgender 1.0. Like they were the transgenders before the transgenders.
So what's the fix to the problem, Glenn? What do you think will help us to masculinize men?
How do we solve this?
The problem is not going to be solved by attacking anything on one front, because what we have is the church, and the church has been doing somewhat. You got pastors like Mark Driscoll and other pastors that are telling men, you need to man up. Okay, you need to be a good provider, and you're telling men that they have to meet all these great qualities, which I agree with. Need to be a man of principle, need to be a man of God's word. He has to be strong, courageous. He has to be able to provide. He has to love his wife. He has to love his children. I'm with all that 100%. And that's part of the solution. But where we fail is we don't tell these ladies, hey, ladies, keep your legs closed. You need to be submissive to your husband. Your husband is the Lord of your home. And when you got married to him, you have made him the Lord of that home. So you are going to honor him, not because you want to, but because you have to. Because you know why? Because God tells you to. Like, we don't correct women. So we can. Here's the thing: if we leveled every guy up from simp, wimp to like alpha stud, right? So if every guy in the world's an alpha stud, no guys will still get married because the women are not at that caliber level to be worthy of them. The majority of women don't know how to cook or clean. Like the majority of women don't even know how to take care of themselves, let alone be a wife to someone else. They only worry about what they want. I want a guy that does this. I want a guy but they don't take the time to figure out what men want. Ladies,
bad money spending habits on top of that.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, Sam, you're right. It's like you want the bank, you want the car, you want all this stuff, but you don't even know what this guy wants from you.
Well, don't you think that it also comes from the fact that we tell to women that she has to have sincere desire, it can't be forced. So it sort of eliminates all of the responsibility and accountability from her, because if she doesn't feel it, like she has to do it or she wants to do it, right? She won't give it because it's not obligation. And we kind of frame it that way.
Well, it is an obligation. When you're married, it's an obligation. When you made those vows, it's an obligation. Okay? Like as a husband, I'm obligated to provide for my family, right? I'm obligated. I don't get to say, I'm not really feeling it today. Like I don't get to do that.
Yeah.
When in Ephesians 5, when God's talking, or when Paul's writing about husband and wife's roles, nowhere in there is that where it says, like, husbands, you could love your wives like Christ loved the church, except when she's being a bitch. When she's being a bitch, you don't got to love that bitch. You could tell that bitch off. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that. Just like it doesn't say in the Bible, wives, submit to your husbands only if he is making you happy. And only if he's doing the things that you want him to do, that's when you submit. It doesn't say that. It says, wives, submit to your husbands in everything. Not when it's that. What does everything mean? It means in everything. That means in when you're mad at him, when you're upset, when you're happy, when you're, depressed, when you are frustrated. It means in everything. Just like it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. In everything. It doesn't say, hey, only love your wives like this. No, in everything. How did Christ love the church? And we already know he ended up sacrificing himself for her, but he also does more than sacrifice himself. So the standard, there's no caveat to whether you get a get out of jail free card of doing your duty to your spouse. But we haven't been teaching that.
Yeah, we also haven't been teaching what love actually is, because we looked at the Bible last time with you, and love means correction. So men stopped correcting their women, and men, okay, hold on. Here was the comment by Ryan. The weak men allowed this to happen.
Yeah, weak men have. Weak men have. And you know what? Also, strong men have.
Yeah.
You know what strong men did? You know what? This is what like, oh, look at these women. They wanna vote. Okay, you know, just shut them up. Let them vote. Let them vote. Like, really, what is it gonna do? They're not gonna take our job. They're not gonna overthrow the country, are they? They didn't care. They didn't see it as a threat. You know, that's what a lot of times guys do. A lot of the strong guys dismiss what the actual damage that things could be if women do certain things, and it's like you give them an inch, they end up taking a mile, and then now you can't do anything to stop it.
Well, Ship also wrote an interesting comment here that government and church have replaced husbands for women.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. You know, you don't need a husband. The government's your daddy.
Yeah.
And you don't need a dad, because you don't need parents, because the school's your parent. And the church, all it does is just it shames men. It just attacks men. And it's like, I have no problem with the church attacking men. But unless you're going to be looking over there on the other side of the pews, when you got all these women over here who have had 4 or 5 different baby daddies, you know, they've been married 4 or 5 different times, and they have divorced everybody in your congregation so far, and you're still letting them in here? You're not going to correct this behavior? I mean, maybe the first time you find out that she's divorced, okay, you might give her the benefit of the doubt, and it's the guy's fault, right? But by the third time, and she can't make the third marriage work, you got to say it can't be the guy's fault 3 times in a row. The odds are just never that bad. You know, some of the times it has to be her, right? What is the common denominator in all her problems? Her.
Yeah.
But they don't do that. They don't address women's sin because they're scared.
So are they scared because women will no longer attend the church?
Well, yeah, when 70% of your congregation is made up of women, and now if you start offending women by speaking the truth, you are going to lose your financial, line there. And you got to figure, a lot of these pastors, most of them don't work full-time jobs outside of ministry. Like, yeah, Nick did. Nick was one of those guys that had no problem speaking the truth, and he offended almost everybody in this church.
Even the simps, because women come with their men, and then their men are like, "Ah, how dare you!"
Yeah, no, it's sad, because it's like if I was going to correct somebody's wife, right? If I was a pastor, I was correcting somebody's wife, I'm doing it for both of their benefits. Yeah. So if the husband's getting mad at me for correcting his wife, I'm like, bro, I'm here for you. I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, the problem is that men don't actually see it as help. And
no, they do. They're just afraid of it.
They're just afraid, yeah.
Because they're gonna now she's upset. Now she's upset, and she doesn't want to have sex with me now. Way to go. Thanks for ruining it. You know, she only has sex with me once or twice a month, period. And today was the day, but
oh my gosh.
Can I ask what church are you with, or were with, or?
So I am not attached to a denomination right now.
Okay.
I was part of a non-denominational church. I was a youth pastor at a non-denominational church, and I was actually more like the assistant. I would fill in for the pastor when he was on, leave or something.
Because
on his yacht.
Christianity Unplugged in here, in the chat. Now he was a full-time decorated pastor up there in the front.
Okay.
I filled in. I was like a substitute. He was the real deal.
Because I'm hearing what you're saying, and it's a very different experience to what I've been through. With the church I was with was it was very much like put on women how to behave, what you should be as a good wife.
Wow.
And I know that a lot of women that have gone to like the elders and said, look, my husband's beating me up or he's cheating on me, they turn it around and be like, well, be a better wife.
You know what? The sad thing is that has been a thing. Okay.
But yeah, it's all,
thing.
the men are perfect. It's
it was a thing in the early years. And so what they did, and Christianity Unplugged, Nick will tell you this, is that they abandoned instead of correcting things, and this is what I talked about like before, it's like, yes, that men have abused their position of power. And since that never went checked, nobody held that accountable. Now you only got people, all these women now are upset. It wasn't just one woman that gets beat. No, it's now thousands of women that share the same experience, right? And now thousands of women do not want to support your church. So what are you going to do now? Okay, we're going to overcorrect and we're going to chastise the guys, when what we should have done was, when that first guy did it, hold him accountable publicly, correct him publicly, right? Don't you know what I'm saying? Just snip it in the butt. And then we wouldn't have this problem.
As a woman, I was always made to feel less than nothing. And you're very much impressed that, if you're lucky enough to find a husband, he is the head of the household and the head of the husband is God.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be God, husband, wife. But see, it's like authority doesn't mean domineering. Being a head of the household doesn't necessarily mean, dictating and being like a tyrant. Head of the household means like, hey,
we're obviously the other end of the scale to the feminists.
Well, the feminists are the dictators. Honestly, the feminists are the ones that want to control. They have the desire to rule their husband. They want the power.
I would say when people hear head of the household, like they overthink that, like, oh, this patriarchal ruling with an iron fist, smashing through your opinions, like, don't care what you think. And honestly, when the head of the household is properly understood and it's balanced, you'll know when basically like your wife will come to you and she'll say, hey, what did you think of this? Or maybe this thing's happening. Like, what is your opinion? Like, can I get your input? Like, what do you think I should do? And it's like, well, okay, you are ahead because they're going to you because they think you're the words that are going to come out of your mouth are going to be valuable enough and insightful enough that they're probably going to be a good idea, even if that's not necessarily what they do, but it can be a sign.
The head of the household means like, I have the responsibility for this family. God's going to hold me accountable on the success or failure of this family. Right?
There's a reason why God, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, Emma.
All I was going to say is there's a reason God made man first.
Yeah. It was a reason why God made man first. It was, he found that that's the perfect way to do things. All right. So there's a natural order of creation that gives us a patriarchal structure, but there's also the sin, the way that sin took place, came from the woman, right? That led also to a reason why women are not in that position that they're in. That's what Paul talks about in 1 Timothy, exactly. There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, when we operate out of our natural function, when we do things that are, or when, let's say if you use a plate, like a dinner plate to drink out of, right? You may get some water on there and you might be able to like dribble a little bit down your throat, but it's not operating in its perfect form or function, right? But if you use a plate to serve your food, it'll work properly, right? If you use a cup, instead of a plate for your food, it's probably not going to work very well. It may get some of the job done. It may function a little bit, but it's not going to function in its perfect operation or the way that it was designed to, right? So when we put women in men's positions and we make men in women's positions, it may function. The relationship may, work for a little bit, but the fact that it's going to break down a lot sooner is inevitable. So when husbands are playing the role that they're supposed to play and wives are playing the role that they're supposed to play, that relationship has a longer lifetime expectancy than when they switch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why don't we just do that? Why can't we just go back to that? Well, we can't go back to that because we told women that you could be everything a man could be. You're a boss girl. Do your thing, boss B. And then you wonder why you've noticed a lot of boss B women are single and they have cats. And they invested in Fresh Steps and Friskies. And they're bitter. More women are now on SSRIs because of them having to go into the workforce and having to take on all this responsibility than ever before. More women are depressed because of their freedom than they were before. So what does that tell us? Maybe all that stuff that you guys were talking about you wanted wasn't really beneficial to you.
Yeah, and I see some older women start realizing it now, but it's too late. They can't undo everything they've done for themselves.
But they don't know any other way either.
Well, they want to be forgiven over it. Like I was talking
Mm-hmm.
to this girl earlier, and she was telling me like, well, why can't we? Why does my past have to matter? I was like, your past has to matter because it's something that's valuable. Understanding where you come from and and how you've lived your life up until now determines whether I want to invest in you or not. You know,
There's a reason a bank looks at your, past 2 years of income and experience before giving you a loan.
exactly. You know, and they're like, well, Jesus forgave me of my sins. Yeah, that's Jesus. He forgave you of your sins to get you into heaven. Just because he forgave your sins, nowhere near does it say that I have to marry you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is the message that women need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Because they believe that if God forgives them, a man should oblige and forgive them too.
Yeah, Nick, you're right. Relational duties. Thank you for correcting me, sir. See, Nick likes to correct me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sounds like you got a pretty good feedback loop, so that's helpful.
Oh yeah, no, he's a really good guy. Good guy. I put him to work a lot. No, I'm kidding. If we just go back to, as Nick says, our relational duties that God has designed, each of us our own unique set of duties, we don't have nothing to worry about. So guess what that means? That means men have to be men and not do women shit. That means stay-at-home dads is not a thing. I know it sounds cool. It sounds like you're modern, you're progressive. No, you need to be out there doing your job, providing for your family, protecting your family. That also means, guess what, fellas? You should be in physical shape enough to protect your family. Oh, does that mean you got to work out? Yeah, you should. You should. I know I have more women tell me that they don't think that their guy could actually protect them when it came down to it. They're like, they think that if anything goes down, I'm going to have to protect us both. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, you have a child. But here's the other thing. Women do like that now. I know women that like guys that are dependent upon them. You know why? Because that makes them the leader.
Mm-hmm.
When the husband is an attractive, man child, and he defers his authority to you, you run the show.
For how long?
Until she gets tired of being the adult.
Because I see a lot of whining ladies out there who are tired of being the boss and
all
the decisions.
Women don't want. Ladies, you don't even like asking what you want for dinner. You can't even decide that. I mean, making dinner decisions is already too difficult for you guys. You guys just end up throwing your hands up in the air and just say, just pick something. You know, I mean, since if you guys struggle with that decision, you're gonna struggle with a lot more decisions. And you wonder, and guys wonder why these women are so upset and so frustrated about, like, you know, having to work. Guys, save them. Find yourself a career that you could provide enough for a family so your wife doesn't have to work. You know? But the thing is, we've been telling men it's not good to be, you know, competitive. We're telling men it's not good to aspire to do things and you know, be risk takers. We say all that stuff is toxic, and you know, if you're a risk taker kind of guy, that's toxic masculinity. If you're competitive, it's toxic masculinity. And it's like, so guys are like, well, I don't want to be toxic masculinity. I don't want to be labeled like that, so I'm not going to try hard. You know? I mean, here's the sad thing. I'm waiting for the time where a girl is being attacked by a guy physically, and a guy walks by and sees it and goes, what do I do? Well, what if I get involved? No, never mind. I'm not going to get involved. No, that's my toxic masculinity coming out, wanting to get involved. Let me just sit here, yell, help, you know, someone call 911 and not get involved, because I am not going to have her think that I'm a toxic man. Like, that's what's going to end up happening eventually.
So these men are basically just looking for the validation of a woman, and they will do anything to appease a woman.
Yeah.
They're not true men. They are not the ones that women actually have respect for.
Well,
And
they're not the ones that women want, because women don't even know what they want half the time. If I've asked women, what do you find attractive in a man, or what do you want in a man? And they will name all these amazing character traits. I want him to love God. I want him to be able to do Bible studies with me. I want him to like long walks in the park. Okay. I want him to like rom-com. I want him to like romantic comedies. Okay. I want him to be in tune with his feelings. I want him to be vulnerable. So then they find that man, and they don't even notice that man. You know who they notice? The guy that says, fuck that shit. Shut up. I'm going to do what I want. I'm not going to go on no walk on the beach. What are we walking on the beach for? No, I'm going to ride my motorcycle. I'm going to do some guy shit. And rom-coms? No, only action flicks. All right. We're never watching a chick flick ever. And those are the guys that the girls are banging. So again, women don't even know what they want.
well, I think that they think that they know what they want based on what society told them, but what society told them completely contradicts female nature and biology.
No, they here's the thing. They want a guy that have both. Guys,
Okay.
you got to have both. You got to have alpha traits, but you also have to have beta traits. And people are like, well, what do you mean? You telling me we have beta traits? Yeah, you should. If you want to have a healthy relationship, a long-lasting relationship, you do got to have some beta traits. But those alpha traits got to outweigh the beta traits. I'm thinking maybe 70-30, 75, 25%. You have to have enough, because if you are too alpha, if you're 100% alpha, most likely you're in prison, or, you should be in prison. All right. If you have too much beta traits, well, you're the doormat that she doesn't respect, and she walks all over. So you got to have a balance, and a healthy balance, in my opinion, is a little bit 70-30. I would say safer around 75-25, but to each their own. But the closer you are to 50-50, the closer you are, the odds are she's not going to respect you as much.
And that can change with time, depending on, like, let's say you're in a committed long-term relationship, that can fluctuate as needed, right?
Yeah,
for different.
And per season too. Like, you're not going to be like a super alpha dick when she's pregnant. You're like, hurry up, bitch, get in the car. We gotta go. Like you're not gonna do that. You're gonna be right there behind her back, holding her back as she's waddling with that prego belly to the car, and you're gonna open the door. That's what you should do.
Come on, push that baby out. Well, this hospital charging by the hour.
The game's on right now. I gotta go. Did you pick up any beer on the way? to the. Oh, you didn't? I told you. Like, you got to have a little bit of both. You got to have a little bit of both. A good balance. But
It seems that. Oh, go ahead.
It just is like, first things first, though. The guy doesn't. Like, I've told this. Me and Nick talk about this all the time. I don't want guys to even think about women until that, one, they have established a strong walk with God. All right. 2, they have established their frame. Okay. 3, they have established a good, solid career. That means they are bringing in enough money to where that they could take care of themselves and a wife, and a family. Okay. And then at that point, once you have the financial situation straight and you got the other 3, then, guys need to work on their physique. All right. Your body is his temple. Not is it just a temple that, we know the Holy Spirit's in, but this is the gift that he's given you. This life, this gift, this body is a gift. So how can you go to God in prayer? God, can you help me get this? I want this, Lord, please. Could you bless me with this? And you're not even a good steward with what he has already given you. He's given you this life and he's given you this body and you're not even taking care of that. So how can you ask him for a wife if you don't even taking care of the gift that he's already given you, your life? So take care of your body. All right. Be healthy, be in shape, be attractive. That's beneficial to you and your wife. Right. And then after that, learn social skills, learn how to talk to women. I have talked to a guy recently that's been doing day game and he's going out there and he's in another country and he'll spend hours approaching women and things are not working. And everything is so robotic. He's literally like running a script and, that's not learning how to be social. Social skills is being able to learn to go into any room filled with all mix of people and be able to have a conversation with every single one. A different conversation. I could go into any corporate office, even dressed like this, and I guarantee you I could have a conversation with each individual and relate with them on a specific topic. That's being social. That's having social skills. It has nothing to do with banging the girl. It's being able to carry a conversation enough to where that you could actually gain attraction or gain insight on them that they may find attractive.
Yeah.
But the guys need to have those 5 things first. Those 5 things first before you even think about taking a relationship serious. I mean, the Bible does tell you, guys, so just so you guys know, we are supposed to be able to provide an inheritance for our children's children. So that means something there.
Not only do you got to make the money, but you got to train your children to not lose the money for that to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not that, you got to train yourself not to lose the money because that's an investment that you're
number
going
one.
to plan away.
Right.
Too many people, and myself included at times, have lived paycheck to paycheck, right? So it's like, hey, we got to be wiser stewards with the resources that we have.
You want to get a head start, guys? Richard Hart ecosystem. Cryptocurrency.
That's right.
We need to talk to my husband about the cryptocurrency. He's not a fan of it. Anyway, guys, I would like us to go back to the initial topic a little bit. We were talking about women, right? How women are married to a simp. So once they are married to this guy who is pedestalizing, who is simping for them, what should women do?
What she should do?
Yeah.
Nothing. Why?
Just stay with the guy, right? Stay with the guy.
Yeah.
I
mean, just if you're married to him and you've made him a simp by basically he either was a simp or you made him a simp, betatization by 1,000 successions, that's what you got. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Like you could encourage him. You could, if you want him to change, you could encourage him to be, more masculine. Ladies, if you want your man to be more masculine, hit me up. I will help your guy out. Okay. I will plug him in with the coach that I know, or if I can't help him, someone else will help him, but we'll get him helped. But the problem is, you may not like the fact the way he is when he comes back. He might be telling you, no, you're not going to be spending all that money tonight. I don't care. I don't care. You're not going to go shopping. We got some bills to pay.
Yeah, because some women they don't really like their husbands. They think that they are not taking enough leadership, they are not doing all sorts of things, they are not manning up. And
If that's what they turned them into or settled for, then that's on them, isn't it?
true. Yeah, this is why we are telling you, ladies, if you chose this guy, you stay with this guy, because he's the one who is convenient for you, and he's the one that you picked to begin with, and maybe you've beta-tized him, like Glenn says. Yeah.
Do you think telling women that with words is sufficient to get women to override their hypergamous drive to do what they're going to do anyway?
No. You demonstrate.
Yeah.
You could tell a woman you're blue in the face that she is to respect you. If you do not show her that there's a consequence for disrespecting you, she's never going to listen to you.
Mm-hmm. And Ashton is asking a question here. What if the guy changes after you married him? Changes in what way, Ashton? Specify.
More than likely, people are going to change. Both sides of the people are going to change in their relationship as hobbies and lifestyles change, and kids happen. Things are going to change, but hopefully, if you've got a good frame established, that doesn't change. But I mean, if you're from a women's perspective,
well.
Go ahead. What was that?
A lot of people don't realize that marriage takes work. They do all the work before, and then once they've got the hook in and reeled them in and then got married, it's they've achieved their objective. So a lot of people don't bother putting the work in.
Is marriage supposed to take that much work though? Is it supposed to be hard?
No.
Like I think when the guy is on his purpose, when he's living in his frame, when she falls into his frame, when she decides, you know what, I want the life that you are going down, I want that life with you, and I'm going to surrender that. I'm going to surrender my ability to go off on my own and chase my own life. Then when the woman falls into his frame and under his leadership, you don't have chaos. You're not going to have, this have to work as hard, right? Because the roles. If everybody's playing doing their duties, their relational duties, as Nick says, if men are doing their relational duties and women are doing their relational duties, there is no work.
No, I agree with you there.
We make it difficult. We make it work. We make work out of it. It's like you were dating this person, you fell in love with them, you enjoy spending time with them. Every moment with them was blissful, right? To the point where you decided that you want to live with them and wake up next to them every single day. And then when you guys do that, you guys make it more difficult to be around each other than it was before. Both men and women are all too guilty for abandoning what they were doing. Whatever you did to get that chick to walk down the aisle with you, guys, that's just the beginning. You got to do that and more after you're married. And ladies, whatever you did to get him to get on his knees and present you that ring, you got to do that and more after you're married. But too many people think that it stops. People think it stops right after you're married. I got them. Don't got to try so hard.
Yeah.
Everything's easy.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. But you just did it a whole lot better than I did. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Ashton asks a question. What if a guy beats her after they are married and then talks down to her? If a woman is a good woman, what should she do?
Call the cops. Why would you let anybody beat you? And especially him. I don't know why he's beating you. If he's supposed to love his wife like Christ loved the church, and the Bible says a man nourishes himself, He takes care of himself. He doesn't harm himself. So if you are an extension of him, why is he even doing that? He must not even love himself in that case.
Yeah.
But no, you should do what's right, protect yourself, and call the cops on his ass, get his ass arrested, okay, and hold them accountable for it.
Yeah, and then Nick was also asking, define abuse, because a lot of women, they would falsely accuse their husbands of doing something so that they can get out of the relationship, let's say, the moment something doesn't turn out the way that they want. So the problem is that we, as society, we blindly trust women. We tend to rely on what women are telling us without acknowledging what happened, what led a man to that behavior. Maybe you did something to him. Maybe you said something that, I'm not saying that like beating a woman is a good thing in no way. Yeah. But
what is abuse? All right.
Yeah.
We know physical abuse is what? Causing bodily harm to an individual, right? Emotional abuse. What is emotional abuse?
When you're causing harm to someone's like emotional state, and
so that would be like calling somebody, you're just a fatso, or you're just an ugly Shrek doll, right? That would be emotional abuse, right? You're just stupid. You don't understand anything. You're just stupid. You're just a stupid, right? Okay. But telling somebody no and correcting them cannot be considered emotional abuse.
No.
That's where we're at now. Telling your wife no, she can't go spend $10,000 shopping because you don't have that money, you have to pay bills. Now that's called financial abuse. So basically, we got to the point where telling a woman anything that's contrary to what she wants to hear is now a form of abuse. So we went from knowing what abuse was, meaning to intentionally, harmfully, do something to somebody that was unprovoked. I would say that that's a good definition of abuse, both physically and emotionally, right? If you are intentionally saying words or saying things to inflict a pain on them, that's abuse. If you intentionally touch them in a manner that is harmful or unwarranted, that's abuse. But if I tell you no, you're not going to go, we're not buying a new car. You don't need a new car. That's not abuse. If I say, no, I don't want my wife going out on ladies' night, that's not an abuse. But that's where we got to the point where anything is considered abuse.
So what would you recommend to men who are trying to get their wives in shape? Let's say their wives don't look as attractive because they go to Simps and the man has been simping for them for a while. And now he wants her to, get back in shape. How would he approach this situation?
I think you got to finesse it. You can't just go, hey, Susan, you're a little chubby today. Those pants don't fit the same way they used to. Yeah, that's not a good way to start off. Maybe be like, hey, you know what, babe? I got us membership at the gym down the street. And I'm thinking, maybe after I get home from work, after dinner, how about you and I go to the gym for about 30 to 45 minutes, get a nice little workout in, and then come home and cuddle up and we watch a rom-com and go to bed. Right?
Well, what if she doesn't go to the gym? What if she doesn't want to?
Well, if he presents it as an activity that they could do together, because most of the time women complain, we don't ever do anything. Okay, so now here's an activity that you could do with her that will benefit both of you. Now, if you eventually, if she's not going, then you might have to end up having that hard conversation that you're trying to avoid and be like, "Hey, sweetheart, I'm just let you know, when I married you, see, you were like this big, and now you like this big." And I didn't sign up for that shit. You know, when we said I do, I meant I do to the woman that looked like this back then. And like, I understand things happen and things change and bodies change over time. But like, you are like not even trying to stay attractive. It's like you just let yourself all the way go. And I don't like this. I can't work under these conditions.
So if a woman tells him that he should accept her the way she is because this is what she thought she was signing up for.
Yeah, you got to figure when women, when you say that, did you accept him the way he was? So the way he was back then, that's what you expect from him for the rest of your life. So when he doesn't meet those standards, when he stops doing the things that he used to do, you guys have no problem holding that over his head and telling them that. And you don't even do this, like, you don't do these things with me anymore. You don't love me. You don't do this for me anymore. Okay, so then guys know that we got to continue to do that. That's the standard. But you didn't look like that like you used. You didn't look like this when I met you. Why does your standards get to change? Why do I got to accept these modified standards that I didn't agree to when we got together? Oh, so I have to accept you. I love you the way you are. Well, then shouldn't you love me the way I am? Isn't this what this means? Or do you saying that there's a different standard of love for each other?
Yeah, I think this is what women are trying to do to men because they don't want to be held to higher standards. They think that once they get the man, and if you look at the legal system, it's on the woman's side. So if he does something wrong, if he emotionally or somehow else abuses her, she can take all of the resources that he has, so maybe like 50%, right, and take the kids away from him. We set up the system that benefits women to behave this way. And I think this is what Sam was saying, like, would us telling women to behave in a certain way be enough for women to adjust their behavior?
No, what's gonna take is guys telling women no.
Yeah.
I said it earlier, like, if you know what, if she's not pleasant, I don't care how beautiful you are, but if you're disrespectful, you're argumentative, you're not pleasant to be around, guys, those things, the way that she treats people, if she's rude to people, those characteristics, that should make your dick shrivel up. Whatever boner you had, it should evaporate. Because the way that how rude she is to other people, she will be that rude to you eventually. If she's comfortable enough to be that rude to these people, like especially like, you know, service people, like waiters, and, you know, like just people, like just, you know, customer service people, if they're rude to them, they're going to be rude to you. So watch how they move, see their behaviors. You know, if they're high maintenance, if they have this, you know, high maintenance chicks are not worth it, guys. They're great. They look cute. They're not worth it. It's like having a Bugatti. Is it practical? Probably not. You know, there's no point in having a Bugatti when it's just, it's like you must have money to throw away. You have to have, like, you must wipe your butt with toilet paper, or the toilet paper with $100 bills if you want to buy a Bugatti and think it's a practical car. So same thing, having a high maintenance chick, right? That's a 10. Unless you have the money to afford the upkeep for that 10, you know, need a new clutch purse every 6 months. Got to get some new clothes every time the season changes. Her hair has to have an ombrage. She needs a little dog and a purse, you know, and his name's got to be Snookums. and she has to have 3 cars. You know what? And she needs to have a maxed out credit card, and you got to provide that. You want a high maintenance chick? Hope you have high maintenance money to afford that chick.
And that's less money that's going to your son's sons.
Exactly. Now you're taking away from your children's children.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, guys, tell women no. Reject women. Women do not know how to handle rejection. I'm sorry. You want to see a woman flip out? When she offers you sex, you tell her no. Hey, now, Aaron Clary's a buddy of mine. Like, seriously, I'm telling you guys right now, hear me out. Next time you and your wife get in an argument, she gets mouthy, disrespectful, right? She doesn't apologize. Okay? And then she knows you mad. If she offers you sex, you go, no, I'm all right. I don't know. Not in the mood right now. I'm sorry. I just can't get there right now with you. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to go read a book somewhere else and just walk out of the room. She will lose her shit because she's never been told no. Women are not told no, especially when they're offering sex. Like, ladies, have you ever been told no from a guy that you were mean to and you offered him some playtime? You've been told no?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a good guy over there.
Well, I haven't got a guy at all, but in a past relationship, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. But no, like, most guys will not do that. They're too afraid. They're so afraid of not getting access to vagina that they will take that abuse. What guys need to learn how to do is not take that abuse, not take the misbehavior. Expect more. Women, I don't tell women that they should expect less from men. If you want the 6'6s, if you want the Chad and you want them to have the money, and I'm not going to tell you should you'll lower your expectations. I'm not going to say that. I will tell you you should have more realistic expectations. I'm not telling you to lower them, but you should be realistic with what, was out there. But I tell guys need to have much higher expectations than a woman. Her having a pulse and her being born a natural woman and not a transgender cannot be the only requirements.
Well, and there is this phrase that women just are, but men must become.
No, that phrase should be pretty women just are, and everyone else has to become. Because even the ugly girls got to put in work at that point. They don't have to put in as much work, but they got to put in work.
Yeah. Well, even pretty women, it's actually a curse. I see a lot of beautiful women out there, but they have a very crappy personality. So eventually they end up being single.
Yeah, they just end up becoming recreational use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a blessing and it's a curse to be a pretty woman, because if you have the wrong kind of mindset, the man that you want, and all women by nature want a high value man, right? The one who can provide, the one who can take care of the woman. They will miss their opportunity because they will believe that they are the pretty ones and the next guy will line up. And this is where simps and these men who are pedestalizing women, they are actually misleading women, because they're saying like, okay, I'm here for your support, I'm here if you need me, and then they send the DMs to these girls, right? And these girls are having the ego boost because of this man, and they think that, oh, I'll just keep spinning plates, let's say. I'll keep doing what an alpha man is doing. So in a way, women have become this alpha women who behave like an alpha man.
Yeah, what is so sad is that, we're robbing women of the best life that they could possibly have by not teaching them or telling them, correcting them. Like, I know beautiful women that are single and are probably going to remain single because no one taught them how to be a woman. Women have been using their sexual charms, their sexuality, to manipulate men. And now they get to the point where the guy that they find the guy that they actually want to meet and settle down with. And he's like, no. Why? You don't, there's no added value here.
So
and it's sad.
Why would a man say no to a pretty woman? Or do you think it's because she realizes it too late?
A guy is going to tell a pretty woman no. Now, let me tell you this. You know how like everybody doesn't like hoes? Like you say, shame these whores, right?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Every guy likes whores.
Yeah.
There's not a guy on this earth that doesn't like whores. Even the pastors will like whores. Okay? If they were able to sleep with whores, it was zero consequence.
Yeah.
Nobody would have a problem with whores. If it wasn't a sin and there was no laws against, prostitutes, right? There's not a guy on this planet that would turn down a prostitute. The most gorgeous woman that could walk up to you, I guarantee you, if Sam was in a relationship and the most beautiful woman in the world walked up to him, right? And she said, hey, let's go have some fun. And she's a whore. And Sam was not going to face any consequence either with his wife or with the law or anything. Sam would be like, sounds like a good idea. Why not? When would I get this opportunity again? So guys don't have a problem with whores. Just like we don't have a problem with beautiful women. But we don't want a whore to be our wife. Now, guys will say that they'd rather her be their personal whore. And they could do all the kinky, freaky things with their wife. And their wife will be into it. That's one thing. But he made her that way. Not her already coming that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the sad thing for pretty women is pretty women are not taught what it's like to what should they appreciate in a man. What should they bring to the table to a man outside of their looks? Because look, ladies, looks fade. You got maybe 10 years, 15 years before you got to start worrying. Then you guys want to start doing the facelifts and the boob jobs and then the butt things. And, you want to do all that stuff, later on. So your marketable value on your natural beauty is only about 10 years on average.
Not that there's anything evil about boob jobs.
No, I'm all for it. I support them. Go get them. Save the titties. But at the end of the day, you want a man that's going to value you for more than your beauty. That means you have to show more than your beauty to him. You actually have to have more than your beauty to value. And some of the most beautiful women have the most ugliest souls, and that's why they're single.
So appearance is very deceptive in a way.
Look, appearance is only good for sex. That's only a hot chick. The only thing that's good for is that she makes the pee-pee bounce, makes it go up and down, makes it want to go hard. Okay. But besides that, she's not worth the investment. If she's just hot and that's all she has, not worth the investment. If she's hot and she's in love with you and she wants to be your wife and she wants to, play her position or do her duties as your wife, if she desires to be a wife rather than be a boss bee, then you might want to take her seriously. She might be worth your investment. But I do got to run. I got to hop on the dragon ship. You know, it's
Yeah, I know. I wanted to attend that one too. So we are going to wrap it up, guys. If you have more questions, leave us the comments, okay? We will try to bring these questions next time. And Glenn, thank you for your time and for joining us. We hope to have you again.
no problem. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care, Glenn. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye. Yeah. It's interesting. It's fascinating. You see, I see some women, they are not very beautiful. They are beautiful enough to get themselves in trouble, but they are not pretty enough to get themselves out of trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they are maybe a solid mid, and just because they are young, but they might believe that they are pretty, they can get themselves into a lot of trouble, right? But it's not enough to get themselves out of trouble. This is another point I wanted to add here. Anyway, guys, if you have more comments to add, more questions. No,
I'm good.
Sam. No. Okay, we've covered it. Cool. Then we will do the videos next time. We are going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone who joined us today. Thank you for your kind support. I'll see you soon. I'll see you later tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a Pilates and yoga class with Melody. She thinks that she managed to fix her computer, so hopefully we will run the class tomorrow. So join us. If anything, I will teach you some face yoga. Okay, we will try to do some face yoga instead, so it's not too exhausting. And remember to please like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Glenn Lawrence. I'll add him in the description box, and also subscribe to Sam's YouTube channel, Bungalow for Bachelors. Follow Emma on Instagram, okay? And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.